We're live. Hello, everyone, and shout out to each and every one of you. And thank you guys so much for tuning in to your girl Siren on the Siren Speak show. I know you guys are probably so shocked to see me here on a Friday, but guess what? Your girl is here. Okay. And we are live, and we're going to have a conversation, you guys. Today, we're going to be talking about some stuff, okay, that came up that I was just like thinking about. Okay. So, we're just gonna get straight on into it, y'all. It's been a lot going on for me this week. So, in regards to messages and stuff, just a lot of things that happen opening up to me, a lot of crazy dreams. If y'all haven't been dreaming, y'all need to really work on y'all frequency, okay? Dreams are just spilling the beans and the tea, okay, of it all. So it is very important that we pay attention to our dreams, you guys. But speaking of dreams, I had a dream about a woman who is like a mother figure, right? And I didn't understand why it is that I had a dream about this woman. And, I started to do some decoding. I started to look into, my dream and see what message it is that was being relayed to me and what is being revealed, y'all. And it just went deep. Okay. It went really deep. And I was just like, I wasn't expecting what it is that I got out of it, but it did open me up to the fact that what came up was the foster system, the foster care system, evil stepmother, wicked stepmother, a lot of mother, okay, but not the original mother. Okay, it's the wicked stepmother type of vibe that we all are experiencing. So Spirit wanted me to convey, your mama looking for you. Okay, the mother is looking for her children. And what do I mean by that, you guys, when I talk about the energy of the mother? Now, first of all, I'm going to refer to a movie I saw. Okay, a movie I saw. So everything that I say to you guys today is based upon a movie that I saw, right? So I just want you guys to take everything that I say to you for entertainment purposes only. Okay, this is just entertainment that I'm giving you. Nothing that I'm saying is a fact. It's just for entertainment purposes to entertain what it is that I saw on this movie, right? So on this movie, okay, it was letting us know that back in like the 15 to 1800s, this is how far back, this is the last time you probably seen your original mother. So when I talk about the mother, we're looking at the spirit mother, okay? You have your physical mother, but then you have your spirit mother. Now just think about what you are before you actually incarnate into a body or a fetus. What are you before you jump into the avatar? We're talking about that mother right there. Okay. So you have that mother who sends you off to school, right? Sends you off to school to this physical mother, which is who birthed you, right? Your mother and your father. So, but prior to you getting into that fetus or that embryo or that egg, whatever it is, that fertilized egg, I think, okay, that the baby becomes, or it obtains its spirit at either 5 weeks or 5 months old is when the baby, is when the spirit is now into the fetus. Okay. That's just Siren speaking. Okay. I am no medical doctor, and I'm not trying to say whatever the medical doctors say is wrong. This is just Siren speaking on a Siren Speak show. Okay. So once the soul, that's the part of you we're talking about, because that part of you was birthed by something else. Okay. That part of you, that essence, this is where I think the soul is, that essence of you before it incarnated into this physical body. We're looking at that mother, okay, that gave birth to the essence of you, of who you are and what you are, your frequency, your genetic code, your genetic making, that version of you, okay? So let's go back to the 1500s, because this is where it took me. It took me back to the 1500s and the 1800s, where allegedly, okay, according to this movie, allegedly there were certain rituals done, okay? Now, the reason we're looking at the 1500s and the 1800s is because there was a certain planetary alignment that had to be in place in order for this powerful ritual over the masses to be done. This is why we have to work jobs. This is why we pay property taxes. This is why we got to pay for water. This is why we got to pay for fruit, y'all. All of that was done allegedly. What if all of that was done during a ritual, during a specific planetary alignment? Now, what if you want to affect somebody's finances or have control over somebody's finances or what it is that they value? Okay, you want to, with one zodiac sign, when you want to look at their values and their finances, okay, and you want to control that aspect of them, you only want to focus on one sign. That sign is Taurus. Hey, to all my Taurus out there, shout out to y'all. Okay, now Taurus is an energy that rules over what we value. It rules over how we make money, how we receive our money. Okay, it rules over our materialistic realm. Okay, so anything that's tangible, we can touch, we can see, we can pick it up, we can feel it, all of that stuff. Taurus rules over that. So if I want to control your money, I'm going to do a ritual on you under Taurus energy. Now, you can't with Taurus, but one way. When it comes to a Taurus, see, Taurus is very safe, secure. Taurus is very locked into its energy, okay? You can't really trick Taurus because Taurus is a little stubborn. Taurus knows what it wants, knows what it likes. So there's a way that you have to with Taurus. Now, when you want to mess with Taurus, you want to go to Neptune. Neptune is the planet of illusion. It's the planet of escapism, okay? Neptune is the planet of you can with people mind, okay? So when it comes to Neptune being in Taurus, the last time Neptune was in Taurus was in 1547 until 1561. Then it went in Taurus again, 1875 to 1889. Now think about it. What happened between 1875 and 1889? Isn't that not when they took the indigenous people from Georgia and stole all of their property and their money and all of that stuff and made them and trailed them right on to Oklahoma? Okay. Isn't that coincidentally when Neptune was in Taurus? So what do they do when Neptune goes into Taurus? Okay. Now, when Neptune goes into Taurus, hey to everyone who's tuning up into, hey, Crystal, Taurus in the house, Taurus in the house, hey, Crystal, hey, Truth Seeker, how are you? Hello, happy Friday, I think it is. Oh, Venus, the day of Venus. Venus rules Taurus, okay? So let's get back into it, y'all. So when you want to with people's money, when you want to control people's money, especially on a mass level, again, any ritual has got to be in the planet, in accordance with the planetary alignment. So whenever Neptune is in Taurus, I need y'all to listen to this. And also, I want you guys to do your due diligence and do research on this when y'all get off this live. Okay. So whenever Neptune was in Taurus, coincidentally, I put some notes too as well, y'all. Okay, so I'm going to refer to those, and I will have to pull out my glasses, so I don't need y'all saying nothing. Okay, your girl do have to do this. Okay, I don't need to hear nothing about it. Act like you don't see it. Okay, so Neptune in Taurus, 1547 to 1561. Okay, I'm sorry. There was another time Neptune was in Taurus, 1710 to 1724. 1875 to 1818 is when they, with them indigenous folk, took all of their land, and then trailed them people right on up to Oklahoma and made them go somewhere else, right? And also the next time Neptune is going to be in Taurus. Now, just in case you live in, y'all need to write these dates down, because I'm telling you, when Neptune go in Taurus, it be some that goes down that they don't tell you about. The next time Neptune is going to go in Taurus is 2039 until 2052. So if you're planning on being around here, I need y'all to understand what happens next. Neptune is the planet of escapism, which means Neptune is where they would create alcohol. You know what I'm saying? They would create drugs like cocaine, okay? Crack cocaine, crack. When they create all of these, okay, they will create this under that Neptune and Taurus energy. Now, when Neptune is in Taurus, you guys, okay, it can create addictions. Okay, so people who are under the energy of Taurus, we love to eat. We love a good old plate of food. We love nice things. We love money, and wherever your Taurus is, okay, because we all have a little bit of Taurus in us, right? It may not be your main sun sign, but Taurus is in you somewhere, right? And Taurus is where you can be manipulated, and they can turn something like a simple like for a sandwich into an addiction to where I got to have this sandwich every day, okay? So when Neptune is in Taurus, Neptune is the planet of escapism and addiction, okay? And Taurus is under stability. So long-term, stable, things of that nature. Now, whenever it talks about Taurus, we're talking about our material consumption. And when we're looking at Neptune, we're looking at addiction. So now, whenever Neptune is in Taurus, the things that they do is when they turn food, clothes, y'all think about it. Who's not addicted to wearing nice clothes or buying nice things or luxurious things whenever we get a little coin? You know what I'm saying? Or either invest in it. Sometimes if we are someone who invests our money, we can become a little obsessive. So this is where they manipulated us with this obsessive energy. Now think about this. In 1547, okay, through 1561, when Neptune was in Taurus, what did they introduce to the people? Chocolate. This is when chocolate was first introduced to Europe. And who doesn't love chocolate? Okay. This is when chocolate was introduced to Europe using this Neptune and Taurus. This is why chocolate is one of we all love chocolate, because it was created under an addictive planetary energy. Okay. In 1710 to 1724, coffee was created, you guys. The first coffee was made from coffee beans in France when Neptune was in Taurus. We all know who loves a good cup of coffee now. Okay, why do you think coffee is so addictive? This ain't even the bottom of it, y'all. We still at the top. In 1875 to 1889, this is the last time Neptune was in Taurus. Coca-Cola, which initially contained cocaine, was invented while Neptune was in Taurus. Okay? Now, let's go just a little bit deeper. And I thought I wrote down some other notes, but I guess I didn't. It's okay. Okay? This is when the FDA, okay, Food Drug Administration, this is when the commercialization of cocaine and opioids in food products became mainstream. This is when the FDA approved cocaine and opioids to be placed in food products. Okay? While Neptune was in Taurus, creating an addiction to foods, candies, sweets, whatever you consume that you feel like, you love it, whatever it is for you. The Food Drug Administration Now it makes you look at it a little bit differently. When I look at the Food Drug Administration, I didn't understand the drug part at first, but now I get it. Now I understand what it is that was taking place. Okay. So we're looking at Neptune and Taurus, the Neptune and Taurus era. And the reason we're talking about this is because this is the era that was used to manipulate the folk. This is how they got us from not having a birth certificate and social security card to now requiring one. So it was using the planetary energy of Neptune in Taurus to create addictive food that can control and manipulate the folk who consume it so that they can easily be controlled and manipulated. Oh, I really love this. I really love this. So now you want more and more and more, and they're going to sell it. They're going to make more money because you want more of it, because you have this, unbeknownst to you, addiction to it, right? So now we have to look at the fact that, okay, they use food, they used clothing, they used material things, cars, okay? All of these things that were not here originally, because we used to be able to teleport, y'all. We wasn't trying to get around. Let me get in a car. Let me go buy gas and all of this stuff. We wasn't into that. Okay. We used to be able to teleport wherever we needed to go. Boop, you know what I'm saying? We pop up and we there. You know what I'm saying? It was like a pull up, different type of pull up that we was on. Remember, telephones was not even needed back in certain days because we had telepathy. Okay. Telepathy. So when they started to distort, okay, these foods and stuff perhaps started to distort Dana, okay, and this is where other things have started to be implemented, as far as the Superman, the Batman, the Spider-Man, okay, all of those started to be implemented to mess with Dana as well. So now let's get back to this. The mother. This is the worldwide adoption process that took place, okay? The worldwide adoption that took place. So let's say, like I said, the original version of you, the essence of you that made its way through all type of portals to get into the fetus that was created, okay? So now you have a place, your mama, before you got in that body, okay? Your mother, this feminine energy, signed off on you to go to this realm. It's almost like, let's say if you're a parent and you're dropping your kid off to daycare and you're trusting them to watch your baby while you do what you got to do. So perhaps the mother have to save, the galaxy in some way, shape, or form. And she's like, okay, let me go ahead and sign my babies off so that they can go to school while I'm doing what I got to do. Now, so now your mama done dropped you off and you inside of this little fetus. Now you growing and you ready. You got a little heartbeat and everything. And you ready and you ready and you ready, right? You're born into the world. You're finally here. So now you have this stepmother type of energy, which is your parents, your mother who gives birth to you. Okay. She's really just a vessel. Right? She is like a vessel to hold you, to soothe you, and, to make sure that you get here safe and all of that stuff. So now you've arrived, okay? And as soon as you arrive, she got to sign off on this birth certificate and social security card, which automatically says, we deem this baby lost in the sauce and confused as hell, okay? So therefore, I'm signing it over to the foster system, the foster care system. Okay. This baby, and when they do that, the minute you arrive here, they automatically turn you into a corporation. Okay. So the application for the birth certificate and the social security card is automatically deeming you, okay, incompetent. So then when they sign you over to this system, it then turns you into a corporation, which means when your mama come and look for her babies, they say, oh, well, something was wrong with the baby when it got here. We automatically called social services and we sent the baby over to social services. So the mama is looking through social services and the social services saying, okay, we don't have Oinky Boinky here because guess what? Social services done named you Bonita Jenkins. You are now the corporation of Bonita Jenkins. So when your mama come through saying, hey, I'm looking for Oinky Boinky Jr., she can't find you. And you don't know you Oinky Boinky Jr. You're thinking you Bonita Jenkins. So when your mama like, oh, that look like my baby over there, is that my baby? And you over there like, oh, my name Bonita Jenkins. I don't know nothing about no Oinky Boinky. You better go on with that. So that's why when a lot of you get reached out to by these foreign or alien entities, you don't connect with them. You call them evil, wicked, and demonic and dark. Now these entities, majority of them, are the ones that they tell you, don't talk to them. They're bad. They're dark forces coming to get you. A lot of these are your folk, your kinfolk. Your mama done hide somebody and say, hey, y'all go find my churn. Now listen, I'm not talking about this on a one-by-one basis, you guys. You know, it's kind of like we are released based upon, there's a lot of us that are being released. A lot of us are brother and sister. Even though we think when we come in this realm, whoever your portal gives birth to, you think that's your brother and sister. And you wonder why sometimes you can have, you know, a baby with somebody and that baby comes out a little off and you like, this ain't my brother, but maybe not in the physical, but in spirit, that might be your brother. Okay. So, you know, there's a lot of us needing to understand that your mama looking for you, but she can't find you until you find yourself. A lot of us are lost in the sauce here in this third dimension. A lot of us, we've been manipulated. We've been told, you know, to run away from those who are perhaps our karmic family. I mean, not karmic family, but generational family or our genetic family. Our Dana has been distorted so that we can't recognize, you know, our family when they do come. You know, we're just like, it's giving the movie E.T. What did E.T. want to do? Phone home. E.T. wanted to call his mama. I need to call my mama. Can somebody get me a phone? Get my mama on the line. Now, to me, I feel like there is a massive agenda to continuously distort data so that we are not able to connect or feel connected with our biological kinfolk. Now, I was thinking also, I said, you know, this is very much giving like 1980s energy because remember back then, you guys, that's when they used to release a lot of the drugs into the neighborhoods and things of that nature. And I looked back on the energies of what was going on in the 80s. To me, I feel like after the 80s, we've been looping. Okay. I feel like perhaps maybe after 1999, we've just been looping. I don't feel like anything has changed. Okay. Since about, you know, maybe late 80s, early 90s, I feel like we've just been looping over and over and over again. Majority of the time when you go in grocery stores, they're always playing songs from the 80s. Okay. The songs from the 80s seem to be the songs that everyone wants to, you know, repeat. Everyone wants to remix the song from the 80s and things of that nature. And I was looking at a lot of the TV shows, okay, when I was growing up. All right. Now, a lot of you are a little bit, you know, younger. You are a little less seasoned than Siren. So I'm just going to be educating you on this. When we were growing up, I looked at a lot of the TV shows and it showed the mother being gone. The mother was missing from a lot of TV shows. I know you guys probably said, well, we had the Cosby Show, you know, and we had, you know, what, Family Matters and things of that nature. We did. But even on Family Matters and even on the Cosby Show, I think little Olivia, wasn't she adopted? I think, was she adopted on the TV show, on the Cosby Show? She kind of like came in as like a, you know, an additional. I think the guy, I don't think the mother was there or something. She adopted. I don't. Let me look up Olivia. Okay, let's look up little Olivia on the Cosby Show. Okay, let me do that really quick. Oh, yeah. Olivia, let me see if it that was her name, right? Okay. So she is the stepdaughter of Denise. Remember, again, she was with her father. Her real mother was missing. And she eventually became a main character, in the show. She was the stepdaughter. So it was Denise had married that guy who him and the mother were no longer together, whatever happened. But that child, her real mother, was nowhere to be found in the show. She was written out. Okay. And even on Family Matters, when it came to Urkel, remember, his mother was never there. His parents was never there. He was kind of like the adopted person in their family, right? So we had other TV shows back in the day where the mother was always missing. Punky Brewster, she was adopted, okay, by this guy. And they were always with the guy. That's the weird part, because it was like the father or the male was always the father figure, but the mother was always gone. So we got Punky Brewster, Different Strokes, okay? They were adopted, again, under a man, not a woman. They were always under some man. You got let me go back. Give me a break. Yeah, yeah. Okay. They were under this housemaiden type of energy where they were not under the mother. You got the show Full House, okay, with the twins or whatever. Their mother was dead. Okay. It was the father raising the children. You got that TV show, The Nanny. Remember The Nanny, where she was the nanny? The mother was gone. It was the father, okay, that was raising the children. There was another show called Who's the Boss? Okay, it was the father, okay, or the masculine energy raising the kids. There was a TV show called My Two Dads. Okay, that was another show where the man is raising the kids. There was a show called Charles in Charge of Our Days and Our Night. Another one. Okay, The Facts of Life. The Facts of Life. Now remember, in that one, I think the girls were in some school, but their mother, the parents, was not there. It was about people just being brought up and raised under someone other than the mother. Remember Webster? His parents died. It was always some man that was adopting these kids. Now, remember, even under the show Good Time, Winona, she adopted Janet Jackson. It was always this missing original mother, okay, where, it was just about either an adopted mother. The stepmother is what I want to say. The stepmother. It was all about the stepmother. There was even a TV show called Silver Spoons. Okay, these were all the shows that were on when I was growing up. Okay, when I was a little, jitterbug out there in the streets. It was just, when you look back on it, it was always promoting this stepmother type energy. Okay, the original mother was not there. Okay, so when it comes to us, the original mother is trying to find us. A lot of us, y'all, listen, a lot of you are saying, I want to get you want your money. You want to get out of this system where we're constantly having to work for money. We're constantly, listen. Years ago, I think it was back in like 2020, y'all. I pulled up this website, right, that I had heard about, right? And when you type in your social security, you go to this website, you type in your social security, and it pulled up all of these damn companies that was under your social security number. Now, under this social security number, there's a lot of corporations. There's a lot of stuff that is happening under your social security number where they're receiving money each month. Nowadays, if you go to that same site, you have to enter a passcode. So they shut it down. You cannot just access it because everybody had them got in and was like, hold up, what's going on? And people was actually calling them saying, why is all this stuff in my name? What's going on? People was calling the company. So, of course, they made it to where it's no longer public information. You now have to have a passcode in order to access that information. So, You guys, with this missing mother, with the original mother looking for her children, trying to find her children, there's this feminine energy that is here, and she's looking for her children. She's looking for them by a genetic signature. Okay. And if your genetic signature is not a match, there's nothing she can do. Okay, she can't go to the courts and say this my baby when the genetic signature is off. So a lot of us have to do work to turn to activate, okay, our genetic signature, right? A lot of us have to do work so that we can connect, right, with our genetic family, you guys. This is how we're gonna have to get out of this third dimension. Now, there are a lot of you who watch me, who, like I say, I'm tired of going over chakras. I'm tired of going over, vampire energy, vampire. Listen, this is just next level information, okay? This is the type of stuff that not too many people want to hear. I understand that, okay? Right now, what we're trying to do is awaken you. I have a mission, and we all have a mission. I just know what mine is, okay? And there is certain information and certain knowledge that I have to give out. To those of you who want to be chosen, okay, you got to learn how to do the work. You got to learn how to step into this energy. A lot of you want to go down to the courthouse and file all this paperwork talking about I'm trying to claim my money. I want my 40 acres and a mule. What's your name? Your 40 acres and a mule is not listed under Shakita Jenkins or Michael Jordan. Your 40 acres and a mule is not listed under that. You need to know you can only access those finances under your original genetic signature. Now, let's talk about the original genetic signature, because that has been distorted, okay? That has been distorted, which is why we now have something called the e-signature. So for those of you who are, down with the e-signature, you guys, it's the electronic signature, which means it can be distorted. It is not requiring your original signature. The reason we had to incorporate the e-signature is because when you're signing under Shakita Jenkins or Benita Johnson, okay, when you're signing under that corporation, a corporation cannot sign. A corporation is a physical, building, right? It's an entity. Right? Or it is, like I said, it's an entity. It's not a person. So it cannot sign off on anything. So when they created the e-signature, they're like, oh, okay. So we need to distort the what do I want to say? We need to distort the genetic, code, so that we can now have them sign off under your original genetic code. Okay? They're actually using your original genetic code when you sign off under the e-signature. They're just not telling you what your original genetic code, because guess what? When you sign off under Shakita Jenkins, right? That's the name on your birth certificate, Shakita Jenkins. Under that e-signature, they're not using Shakita Jenkins. They're using your genetic code and getting signatures like that, because corporations cannot sign off. When we're looking at this virtual world, corporations cannot sign off on documents and things of that nature. You have got to be a person, okay? You have got to be an individual that is signing off on a document. So they're not letting you know what your genetic code is, but they're using it. Listen, they're using it for their benefit, right? Now, what happens? Every time you do that e-signature and they are now activating and using your original genetic code, ping, your mother gets an alert. Oh, my baby out there. Listen, this is just according to a good movie I saw, okay? Everything I'm saying is strictly for entertainment purposes only. That's it. Just talking about a good movie. That's it. So your mother gets a ping. My baby's genetic signature has been used somewhere. I was told that y'all don't know where my baby at. So this could be why we have a lot of guests, okay? While we're seeing, according to some, there's a lot of alien spacecrafts out here. That's your mama looking for you. That's your mama, them looking for you. Because that's the thing about social media, which is why a lot of you can, see that you may be banned. You don't get a lot of likes. You don't get a lot of attention. You don't get a lot of, comments, or, you just don't get that much action. You're being shadow banned for a reason. Depending on your genetic code, okay, you could be shadow banned for a reason, right? So let me show you what it looks like when you are shadow banned. And they do it because, like I said, they want to use your code for their own convenience, but you can't use your code. They're not going to let you know what it is. So you need to know what it looks like, okay? So this is YouTube, okay? Let me go back. Okay. So this is YouTube. We're under YouTube. Okay. This is YouTube, right? So I'm going to go into the search button, right? We're going to go into the search button on YouTube. I have a channel called Siren Nicole. So let's put in my channel and let's see what comes up. Now I have it right here. You see that? That's my channel. It says Siren Nicole. Look at what comes up. You see what? I'm sorry. Siren, broken silence. Okay. You have Nicole Zuritatis, Siren songs, and you have this Siren Nicole. Now look at how I spell my name. Sighren, Nicole. So when you are shadow banned, they're going to, you won't even see yourself. You won't even come up under the search. Okay. So let's click on it. Let's click search. Okay. Now, look at this. That's my page that comes up, but look at all of this other stuff that comes up. All of this has absolutely nothing to do with me, y'all. Look at somebody doing makeup. All of this. This person's name is, she says Siren Eyeliner. Okay. This person here says Siren Head behind our house. The siren is spelled totally different. All of this stuff is stuff that has absolutely nothing to do with me. Look at this. Nothing to do. This is what shadow banned look like. So when you have people on here saying, oh, I'm shadow banned, but you getting 15, 20,000 views, baby, you don't know what shadow banned is. Okay. You don't know what shadow banned is. Shadow banned is when you got to do 50 million things just to get 12 views. And that's only 12 people that you told. Because if I don't tell people, it doesn't get out. So you start to think, why would they want to shadow ban somebody like old Siren? What is it? But this has been since I have been on, any platform. This is not just YouTube, you guys. This was when I was on Facebook. This is when I was on Instagram. They don't want you pinging nowhere. They don't want you being, because there is a search for you. We feel abandoned, okay? But there is an actual live search going on for you to be returned back home. But you got to help your family find you, okay? Which means you have got to do the work to increase your frequency, to tap back into your original genetic codes and things of that nature, you guys. We have work that we have to do. We think that we just got to sit here, pay bills, and hope for the best. No, there's a way for us to get back to the original programming. When you first came here, your mother sent you here for a reason. And they gave you a mother to make you forget about your original mother. Let's get a message, you guys, from the original mother. Okay. Now, a lot of you be like, how you know my mama, your mama? How you know your mama, my mama? Listen, for those of you who know, you know. Okay. There's the divine mother, right? That's calling out to her children. All right, let me see what cards I want to use, y'all. What cards do I want to use? Hold on. Hold on, you guys. What cards do I want to use to get a message from the mother? Okay, we'll use this one, Cosmic Mother. Okay. We'll use this one, okay? Let's see. All right, let's go ahead and give a message from the mother. See what it is that the mother wants to say, or the mothers want to say to their children. Okay. This is why a lot of us, we feel abandoned, especially those of us who feel like the black sheep. We feel, misunderstood. Okay. We feel confused. We feel lost. We feel like our life should be better than this, which it should. We feel like we should be a lot wealthier. Our experience should be, yes, you are the stepchildren here. You're not under your original mother. You're under a stepmother energy. Now, I'm trying to figure out who this stepmother is. I ain't gonna lie about that. I'm trying to figure out who the is she? Who is this stepmother? Okay, that is allowing these things, that's treating us like stepchildren, not giving us what it is that we're entitled to, that's robbing us. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna look deeper into it. But we're going to get a message from the mother. Okay. Oh, she's definitely fighting for this, but hold on, y'all. There's some deception when it comes to the birthday. Your original birth. When you're born here, okay? So first things first, when you're born here in this world, that is not your birthday. It's kind of like if I ship a package and when they get it, they feel like that is, the birthday of the no, that was created way before it was even packaged and shipped to you. So your original birthday is something that is hidden. When you come here, the knowledge of your original birth, breakdown, family, what star system you come, all of that comes under a genetic code that you have. Okay. When you are born here, that is not your original birthday, which means with you thinking that you're a certain age and you're born under a certain zodiac, that's the first sign. That is for your physical experience. You also have your spiritual side that you need to know the birth energy for as well. The mother is definitely looking and in search, but you have to know, you have to seek. She wants you to ask for guidance. She wants you to ask, okay, for assistance with finding out these hidden truths. There's a lot that is hidden from us, okay? The truth is hidden from us. Now, the family, the truth about your family. Okay, hold on, y'all. Let me get some more clarification. Because the truth about your family, your blood family, your DNA, okay? You would think that if kids are born from the same mother and father, that they would have the same DNA. But why is it that you have kids that are, same blood type, right? You would think that they would have the same blood type, but they don't. And I always wondered that, like, why is it that kids that are coming from the same mother and father, they have different blood types? They have, different characteristics and things of that nature. All right. Let me see what this is. Oh. So we were born under a masculine system. There was a masculine energy that changed like the destiny. And this is something around the birthday. It changes your destiny. It puts you in a different route. It puts you on a different path. And this is something that we need to know. We're being lied to about time as well. The truth shall set you free. This masculine energy that I'm getting is coming up under Saturn. Needing to look under Saturn. Saturn rules Capricorn, and it also is like that rules the house of the father. Okay. So it's giving the father, like the mother dropped the kids off to the father, and the father took off with the kids and got the stepmama helping him raise the kids. Okay. It's giving that type of energy. Like I said, y'all, a lot of those TV shows from the 80s was talking about, gave us the missing original mother. She's missing. When you look back on a lot of those shows and the theme around that 1980s energy, it was showing us a disconnection from the original genetic code. Okay. That could be through, like I said, the introduction of Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, all of that, Catwoman, all of that's coming out, okay? It can be through the introduction of those things, okay, that distorted the genetic code. But you guys, you can definitely find this information. You have to go within. You have to do the research. But it's something about the masculine energy. There's this masculine energy that, like I said, I'm getting like Saturn, some sort of, child, we got the blood moon as well. I don't know what this is talking about right now, but the blood moon and Saturn is connected to this as well. The blood moon is giving the sacrifice of the feminine energy. Saturn is being restricted. There's some sort of restriction. They're restricting her access to these kids. It's almost giving like taking the kids from the mother, like the services, the child services, taking the kid from the mother. And you know, when you take the kid from the mother, you know what they do after that, okay? You already know what happens after they take the kid from the mother. Now, sometimes the mother can be a horrible, but remember you're giving stepmother energy. If kids are in the system, you're giving stepmother energy because, you know, the actual mother, and a lot of you who were born and you don't have like a great connection with your mother, you know, this could be why, you guys, because your mother is giving stepmother energy, because technically that would put us in a stepmother energy. We are like the second mother. We're the mother of the physical vessel, right? But the soul, there's a mother to that soul. We're the mother of the physical vessel that, you know, that soul has been introduced to, or that soul is now residing in. All right, let me get one more clarification, honey, to what this mother is saying. Yeah, there was magic that was done. We know that, okay? And she's pissed. There was definitely deception. She's looking, though. She is looking. She sees the magic that was done. She can't prove you are the child because we are all living in denial as to who we really truly are. You have to get down to your original genetic makeup. You need to know your original genetic makeup, okay? This is how you can be restored back to your original purpose of being here. A lot of distortion took place. But you have to help her help you. The mother energy is here. She is here. She's looking for her children, but she can only, you know, if she go to the court dragging a baby in there and the court is like, okay, little baby, what's your name? You know what I'm saying? Who are you? We are living under this. We got to get out of this false identity, y'all. We have to get out of this false identity because it's not helping us. And in order for you to, you know, and like I say, this is for those of you who you feel like life is supposed to be different for you. You feel like you're just not living the way that You feel you're supposed to live. It's like something is just off. Like I feel too connected to wealth and prosperity and abundant living, but my reality is not showing that. My reality feels so different. It is so disconnected from what I feel inside. And that's why, because you come from a very wealthy genetic code. Okay. You come from a genetic code that has a lot of access, but you are not able to access it because you forgot who you are. And the parts of that code has been turned off, okay, within you, and it has been taken and it has been plugged into someone else, which is why we see celebrities, we see politicians, we see, those who are in higher positions, who are now vibrating off of your code. They're using your key code to access wealth, okay, abundant wealth, like a whole bunch of wealth. They're using your key code. They're using your access, right? So if you're not aware of this and you don't know what it is that you need to do to gain access, this is what you need to do. You need to start working on yourself. You need to start working on your frequency. You need to cleanse yourself of that Neptune and Taurus, okay? Because I'm telling you, this is how it all began. We wonder, why is it that they were able to allegedly take all of these people on a boat, okay, on a ship from one country to the next, and then force them into alleged slavery? What happened? How were they able to do that? Because we looking like, not today. No, I bet I wish they would. We're looking like that. Why? Because Neptune is not in Taurus. We're not up under that. Now, Neptune is actually in Pisces, okay, if I'm not mistaken. I believe Neptune is in Pisces right now, which is crazy. I believe Neptune is going to be in Pisces until 20 something. I don't know. 2039. Okay. Yeah, I think 2038. Neptune is going to be in Pisces until 2038, 2039. Okay. So yeah, we're looking at illusion when it comes to spirituality. Okay, when it comes to your Piscean energy, this is why with Neptune being in Pisces, they can come out with all type of staxinations. Okay, remember we had Precious Oompa Loompa, okay, who was talking about Operation Warp Speed. Listen, this man is all over. His energy is his genetic code is in the past, okay, as the president of this time. His genetic code is in movies from so many years back. His genetic code is in books, okay, we're talking times and times and times ago. This man genetic code, his stamp is somewhere everywhere. I'm like, how is he there? How is he here? He's stamped in so many different places. I'm like, it's giving time traveler. It really truly is. It's giving time traveler, y'all. And if you were smart, you would, tap into it. You would look into what it is that, you can do if that's something that, you need to do. Some of us, we are time travelers, but we're not able to use it because we don't have our key. We don't have our genetic key. See, they have their genetic key, so they're able to do all of these things. They're able to be in, positions of power and things of that nature. They're able to buy $200 million mansion and things of that nature. Okay, because they're using the genetic key codes, not just of themselves, but of other people. Hell, your beautiful Beyonce told you, I use Sasha. I don't use me. I don't know how to entertain folk like that. I could sing, I could dance a little bit, but when I put on that Sasha suit, I don't sit down, honey. I'm on the beat. Okay. So yeah, we have to make sure that we are being introduced to our true genetic code. You need your key code, you guys. You need to gain access to this and just ask, okay? Ask for guidance, you guys, and you got to make some necessary sacrifices, okay? We can't feel like everything that we do is right if we're not living the life that we want to live. If you're not living the lifestyle that you feel comfortable with right now, then you got to know, okay, I've been making some crazy decisions. Some of the things I've been doing is not working for my highest good. And you're going to have to go and tap into that energy, you guys, and you're going to have to make some changes about yourself. You're going to have to change the way you see things, the way you react to things, what you believe. Okay, there's a lot of changes that you need to make, right? If you feel like you're unable to make those changes, then get you a consultation and we'll get started on, assisting you with what it is that you can do to, start moving in a path that is in alignment with your highest good. And that will lead towards you now being able to access, okay, that genetic code. When it comes to myself, you guys, this was not my genetic code. Okay. I was human resources, payroll, business administration. I was a corporate employee. Okay. I was a corporate employee before I activated, my genetic code, and I'm still activating it. Now, the genetic code is kind of like, let's say your genetic code is, okay, let's look at it like this. Okay. I'm going to try to write it big. Okay. Let's say this is your genetic code. Okay. And this is just a weird example. This is a 3D example. Right? Let's say this is your genetic code right here. 8432961. Now, this is what happens when you were born into the matrix. Okay. Let's say, wait. All right. So once you're born into the matrix, you see, this is your genetic code, 8432961. What they did was, okay, there was a switcheroo. So now you have 8914623. So this is going to put you on a whole other path. Right here, you are supposed to be a powerful leader, philanthropist, president, whatever. But over here, you are a warehouse worker. Okay, you're a warehouse worker, probably barely making $50,000 a year, struggling job for job, things of that nature. So that's your life. Okay, the way your genetic code is the distortion of your genetic code, which puts you on a totally different path, and you be up here wondering why. So what happens is, let's say you start to awaken. Let's say you have a calling. Okay. You notice that maybe when you dream, you tend to dream things, and you just so happen to start looking into that. You know what? I notice every time I dream something, it happened. Or certain things I dream, it happened. So you start to question that. Automatically, you're going to trigger something in your genetic code. So let's go. Okay. Okay, hold on. Okay, so you triggered something. So you go from 8-9 to back to 8-4. Now your other numbers are off. Okay, so because you moved that 4, you're now almost under your original code, 8 and 4. So this starts to create a ripple effect in the third dimension. And this is why we start to see things change. Let me tell you something. So let's say you get introduced to, let's say, spiritual baths. So now you're doing spiritual baths. Okay. So let's go. Now you're doing spiritual baths. Okay. So look at your code. 8-4-3 is back in the original place. Okay. So that moves these right here. Once you start doing spiritual baths, okay. Hey, Terrence. Hey, y'all, if y'all in the building or if y'all saying something, I don't know, y'all. So y'all got to put something in the comments so it can let me know, because it'll tell me nobody's here for the whole time. I be thinking I'm talking to myself, but I keep going. So you have now started to shift, okay, just by tapping into your dreams, decoding your dreams, and doing your spiritual baths. You are now starting to activate your generic coding, okay? So now we're at 8-4-3. Right? All because you done started doing spiritual baths. So now you started doing spiritual baths and you started to let's say start looking into, your history a little bit. You start learning about Akashic records, you start learning about Atlantean, Sirius, you start, really doing things of that nature. You start learning about planetary alignments and things of that nature. So now, y'all, look, this is what's going to happen. Okay. Okay. Look at what's going to happen. Look at how you are activating your original code, 84329. Now, when you get right here, this is when we start hearing about potential war. This is when we start hearing about, we need to create some sort of outbreak, okay? We need to create an outbreak because, oh, shoot, this is when we need to start paying them to get the flu shot. Okay, we got to do something because they're activating. The little things that you do, you guys, will start to activate you, right? And you then become a threat. Now, unfortunately, sometimes this can result in your demise if you're not smart enough to, outwit the system. If you're not smart enough to do protection work, you need to do protection work, okay? You need to cut back on certain foods. You need to cut out certain, alcohol, certain habits. You're going to have to learn how to master your addictions and stuff like that, to get out of them, to learn how to look into your shadow work and see what is the cause of that addiction and get rid of the roots of that. Because the closer you start to get back to your original DNA, oh no, I said the word. When you start to get back to your original genetic code, you guys, you then become a threat because now you are causing a ruckus in their reality. You're distorting, okay, the falseness that they're trying to create. Okay, so when too many people start to awaken, this is why they're going to distort the food. This is why they're going to use Neptune when it's in Taurus to introduce the Food and Drug Administration. Food and drug. Okay, this is why we have things like that is occurring, because it's going to try to stop you from accessing that original knowledge. It's going to try to stop you from getting your key. So there's a lot, you guys, that is happening right now because majority of you, especially those of you who rock and roll with spiritual candies, a lot of you are awakening. So your mother is now starting to spot you. Your mother is now saying, hold up. That's my baby right there, because your genetic code is now matching the frequency or the original genetic code. Now she's able to go down to the court with all the paper and documents and say, here we go. They're my kids right there. Those are all mine. Okay, so now your mother is able to go into spiritual court and she's able to file the correct documents and paperwork, which is when a lot of you who do spiritual work, especially under spiritual candies. I can't speak for other spiritual work, you guys. I can only speak for spiritual candies. But those of you who do that work, you start to see things change. You start to see things happen for your good. You start to see good things happen. You start to see opportunities start to come. And when you do that, you only probably 8'4". Okay? You probably just be right up in here. Just imagine when you go all the way and start getting up in here and bigger things start to happen and you start to understand who you are. You start to know your purpose, your original purpose for coming here. You didn't come all the way here just to be no damn warehouse worker. Okay? So you guys need to know, a lot of you, the feminine is in sorrow. She's mourning. And because she's mourning, they're looking at her like she's bitter. She's evil. She's bad. Because of the way she's responding, they're calling her crazy. They're saying, oh, she doesn't know what she's talking about. She's talking about she have all these kids and she doesn't. They're not alive. She's making things up. So they've made her feel crazy for all of these lifetimes. And fortunately for us, she's been holding on. She has not given up. She's been persevering through this entire process. And she's been looking for us. She's been calling out to us. But she has been in mourning for a very long time, y'all. And right now, we have got to help her. We have a responsibility to step into our truth. A lot of people would say, oh, the highest vibration is love, love, love. To me, authenticity is higher than love. Authenticity is higher than love. To be in your truth is where you want to be. Okay? To be your authentic self, to come here and live out your authentic purpose. So I wanted to come on here to give you guys this message. I hope you guys got it. And I want to say shout out to each and every one of you who does the work. Now that you know your mama looking for you, do what you got to do so she can find you. Okay? Thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you guys on the next one. Bye, y'all.